Now I'm going to be giving you part 2 of my audios that I have on the corruption dealing with Officer Roger Smith, Eric Hernandez, Gail Ryder, Douglas Christopher Hanson, maybe even Judge Tripp. I'm not sure about Judge Tripp. What I know is for sure is that Douglas Christopher Hanson and Gail M. Ryder has been lying to Judge Tripp. So I like to rule out her in all of this mess. So here go my audio transcript for Mr. Douglas Christopher Hanson, who chose not to be here. He sent in a colleague when he was the one that asked for motion continuance because he felt like certain officers wasn't ready for trial. I'm going to press play and let them do the talking.
All right, this is the time set for an appearance on a criminal case. Would the state like to call the case name and number?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is State of Oregon versus Matthew Mayfield Johnson, Jr. Marion County Circuit Court case number 14C42686. The defendant's out of custody with his attorney, Ms. Ryder. I'm Nellie Wright for Mr. Hanson today, and we're ready to proceed, Your Honor. It's my understanding that we need to do an arraignment on the indictment, need to address a motion to continue. And also, Your Honor, the state would like to put our amended offer on the record as well, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. All right, let's see. Ms. Biggs went to get another copy because I didn't realize that actually under this circumstance I would need 2 copies of the indictment. So she just went to grab that. Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson.
Hi.
You need to stand, Mr. Johnson.
How are you today?
Absolutely fine, Your Honor.
Good. Pretty day outside.
Yes, it is.
All days could be like that. That would be great with me.
Window then?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Your Honor, and we'll acknowledge receipt of the indictment. His name and date of birth are correctly set out. We are not waiving reading, nor are we waiving advice of rights.
All right. Mr. Johnson, I have an indictment. Have you had a chance to see that?
Yes, I have one right here in my folder now.
Perfect. And do you wish for me to read that to you?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. It says in the indictment, the defendant is accused by grand jury of the County of Marion and the State of Oregon by this indictment, the criminal offenses of delivery of oxycodone within 1,000 feet of a school, which is a Class A felony, ORS 475832, and in Count 2, promoting prostitution, a Class C felony, ORS 167.012. The allegation is that those offenses were committed as follows. The defendant did, on or about May 16, 2014, in Marion County, Oregon, did unlawfully and knowingly deliver oxycodone, a controlled substance, within 1,000 feet of the real property comprising a public or private elementary, vocational, or secondary school attended primarily by minors. Then in Count 2, it alleges the defendant on or about May 16, 2014, in Marion County, Oregon, did unlawfully and knowingly with intent to promote prostitution, receive money other than as a prostitute being compensated for personally rendering prostitution services pursuant to an agreement that the money was derived from a prostitution activity. It is signed as a true bill by the grand jury foreperson. The witnesses that appeared in person were R. Smith from SMP and E. Hernandez from SMP. Who's SMP? Salem. Okay. And it was signed by Mr. Hanson for the District Attorney's Office on the 15th of October. At that point, it says at the bottom your identifiers as to your weight and height and eyes and date of birth and SID number and a control number for the jail, and it's a certified true copy by the clerk's office. Do you have any other questions about the piece of paper?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Do you understand you have the right to remain silent about those offenses?
Yes, I do.
And do you understand that you have a right to an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that we've actually appointed you an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And based on this charge and prior interactions between this office and you through counsel, we've set a trial date of July 23rd, 2015.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With a pretrial, July 6th of 2015.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand you have a right to a trial?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to call witnesses at that trial,
Yes, ma'am.
cross-examine the witnesses the state would bring.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to testify or not testify.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you choose not to testify, that they may not be held against you in the deliberations of the jury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand that at trial you have the right to remain silent and a right to not put on any evidence at all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And finally, do you understand that you have a right to a jury trial, a court trial, where you try the case just to me, or a right to enter into plea negotiations with the state, or plead what we call straight up to the charges, plead to both charges, and argue what the sentence should be if you were convicted of those two charges. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
From the state's perspective, have I missed any rights that I should bring to the defendant's attention?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Ryder, any rights that you think I should bring to his attention that I have not gone through?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. A Class C felony is a 5-year maximum with a $125,000 fine, and a Class A felony is up to 20 years incarceration with a $375 maximum fine. Okay. Now, I think there's an offer on the table, and I think the state would like to put that on the record so that we make sure that you understand what the offer is. You don't have to take the offer. You've got a trial set. You can entertain the offer. You cannot. You can plead straight up, as I told you. You can have your jury trial turn into a court trial. You have many options. Do you understand?
Yes.